All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin. I'm your host, Vays, and I am hanging out with Carl Moon over at his office in Dubai. Pool table is right behind me. You and I are gonna have to play on that table one of these days.
Of
And
course.
yeah, so I'm enjoying my time in Dubai. I had Chris on Crypto on the stream earlier. Da Vinci is actually not here. As you guys know, I enjoy my time in Dubai, get to hang out with these guys, learn a couple of tricks on how to make my YouTube channel more popular because they know them all and they always laugh how I never followed their advice. So Carl, how are you, man?
I'm doing incredible. I'm happy that you're in Dubai because this is the best place in the world for crypto entrepreneurs and crypto companies.
Yeah, so I want to ask you about that before we dive into the price of Bitcoin. Last time I was here, you did not have this ridiculous office. How's it been? How's the last year been? I think I haven't been in Dubai since last November, so it's been 11 months. Give us an update on what's going on in Dubai in the world of crypto and what have you done in the last year?
Okay, those are many big questions. But Dubai is the next big crypto hub. I mean, it's proven now. We have Binance coming here, Bybit coming here, big exchanges, big companies coming here. I've met CC multiple times, and every single time he tells me that Binance is setting up headquarters here, and it's literally public information by now. I think he even said it like publicly. And Bybit as well. The Bybit CEO, he tells me all the time that like they will focus on Dubai from now on. So essentially, the big exchanges are coming to Dubai, also other big companies, and people are coming here. This is the crypto hub. So that's why I have my headquarters here. This is my main office, but I have offices around the world. But this is like my headquarters, and I want to try to incentivize as many of my employees to come to Dubai as possible because I wanna bet on Dubai. I think it's just obvious that this will become the next big financial hub, traditional finance and crypto.
All right, thanks for that update. So my live chat is already like crucifying you. You don't want to look at it.
No,
But we are going to take a look. Yes, we are going to take a look at Casta. We can ask Carl, like, this is the most hostile audience you're going to have. So before we get into some of your projects, yeah, what do you want to say to my audience that of how you might be misunderstood by people, especially my crowd?
well, first of all, back a couple of 3 years ago, I was also a Bitcoin maximalist. As you know, I think we made videos back then, and we were like saying exactly the same thing. I was very against altcoins, but I later changed my mind, and I started to realize that obviously 95% of all altcoins are still complete shitcoins and should not exist. I agree with this still, 95%, maybe even more. But there are many things that altcoins and different protocols can do that Bitcoin just can't. However, some in the altcoin market, people still call me Bitcoin maximalist because I am very strong in my view that no one can ever replace Bitcoin. Bitcoin cannot be replaced. There is no other form of money out there in the world that can ever compete with the greatness of Bitcoin. So this has never changed, and that's why some people still call me Bitcoin maximalist, but I wouldn't necessarily call my Bitcoin maximalist. I'm just like, I'm trying to stay objective at all times, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, or do you think I'm?
Oh yeah, no. I would not consider you a Bitcoin maximalist.
Yeah, what does that even mean? Like, does Bitcoin maximalist mean that you don't pay attention to anything but Bitcoin, or does it just mean that you think Bitcoin is the best? Because in that case, I am a Bitcoin maximalist because I think Bitcoin is the best in the crypto space. There's nothing that can compete with Bitcoin.
Right. No. I think, well, again, the term Bitcoin maximalist was kind of made up by Vitalik Buterin. What it means to me is more of someone that doesn't only think Bitcoin is the best, but eventually all of this stuff will be built on top of Bitcoin. So all these other tokens, most of them are not really needed as blockchains. So anything Ethereum can do, you will soon or already can build it on top of Bitcoin through side chains like Liquid Sidechain, RGB, Rootstock. They're not very popular right now because if you build your project on top of Liquid, the biggest challenge that you have is your pool of potential users and investors in that token on top of Liquid becomes Bitcoiners who are not interested in investing in any of this stuff to separate themselves from Bitcoin. When you build on top of Ethereum, your pool of potential investors and users is suddenly Ethereum people who have already proven themselves to invest in a bunch of stuff.
Okay, so I completely agree with you that it seems that with these different upgrades like Rootstock and whatever, you can actually eventually, hopefully, do exactly on Bitcoin what you can do on Ethereum. But the problem is that today you can't. So if you want to create a decentralized protocol today, then you actually do have to use something else than Bitcoin. But I agree that in a perfect world, in 5 years from now, everything will be migrated over to Bitcoin because Bitcoin is way more secure and safer than any other protocol out there. So it would be better. So I agree 100%, and I want that to happen. So look, I really love Bitcoin way more than Ethereum. I love Bitcoin more than any other altcoin out there, even more than my own companies, because Bitcoin is something that can never be replicated, can never be copied, can never be, imitated. It's its own unique phenomena. It's like a new element on the periodic table that is not there, but it should be there maybe. Like it cannot be recreated again. So it would be fantastic if we can migrate everything over there. But I just don't see that happening like this year or next year. Maybe that's like another 5 years down the line. I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, well, I try to make it happen sooner than later, right?
I would love to.
So, and the other thing about Bitcoin Maximalists is why does my camera not keep it locked in?
But don't you think?
And the other thing about Bitcoin Maximalists, they think that Bitcoin is the only decentralized one out there, so you can't actually build a decentralized protocol. So that's another future debate we can have.
Well, I agree that everything else than Bitcoin is always going to be a compromise. You cannot have a fully decentralized protocol out there except from Bitcoin, because there's always going to be a compromise on either security or the speed, transaction fees. It's this trilemma of the different three things, remember, right? So Bitcoin is the only crypto out there that is truly decentralized in my opinion, or the most decentralized. But of course, it comes at a cost today because it is slower than other blockchains. But again, if you use Ethereum, you get it. It's faster, but it's less secure. It's less decentralized. So it's always going to be like a compromise. But for a form of money, it's very important that it's extremely secure and extremely decentralized. So Bitcoin is the best.
All right, guys, I'm going to glance at your live chat. Let's do our best to be respectful. It's not like we have Richard Hart or fake Satoshi sitting here. Like those guys are not welcome on my channel anymore.
You don't like Richard Hart?
Even though both of them have been on my channel before. No,
Richard
I'm not a fan of Richard Hart. I think Richard Hart straight up created a Ponzi, and he was very open about that. So we're going to take a look at the price of Bitcoin first, and then, yes, I will take a look at Casta. I can pull up Casta through TradingView, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's go to the price of Bitcoin, and we'll start there. You guys are going to get my very quick take, then we'll see what Carl thinks. I believe that Bitcoin is ready to bottom any day, any week, any month. I am leaving the possibility open that this descending triangle will send us down. I don't think it's going to go down as low as 11,000. I'm thinking 14 to 15,000 is possible, and maybe likely with slightly greater than 50% chance. I myself am currently in cash, and I am either waiting for a crash to below 16 in order to buy the dip, or I'm waiting for the price to establish itself above 20K consistently for a few weeks in order for me to then be confident that the 17,500 was the low with a secondary low right at 18,000. And the daily chart just gives us ridiculous consolidation. So my overall view is that by early next year, we are already starting to rise in a bull market, and the bear market is going to end this quarter with a possibility of one more capitulation drop, which is not as likely to happen as the capitulation drop I anticipated back in 2018 from 6,000 to 3,000. What are your intermediate view on Bitcoin for the next 3 to 6 months?
Well, I'm also looking at this descending triangle, and I noticed that it looks quite similar to the 2017 cycle, where we also had a big blow off top, and then Bitcoin came down towards a support line and started to bounce.
Right here.
Yeah.
Right. I was a big shorter of Bitcoin here.
Yeah.
And that was one of my better historical trades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least calls.
Same. Back then I wasn't sure we were going to break down, but when we were breaking down, I also opened up a big short because it just looked like everything was just breaking loose, which actually
my reason for treating them fairly differently right now is while the triangles look similar, the big difference is this triangle to me is forming way later in time, assuming that the real market top was here, because there wasn't much good times over here. It was very short. So a lot of time has passed. And also this one was forming way above the 200-week moving average. So it had a bit of support here. Now we're forming it way below the 200-week moving average. Like we've already fallen a lot, which is why I don't think the ultimate target of this triangle is going to be realized, but Bitcoin can surprise us all.
Yeah, I mean, the lowest I can see Bitcoin go is 11K. I don't see Bitcoin going lower than that. But if we do break the support like we did back in 2018 there, we have to consider the fact that we're probably going down to between 13 to 11K.
All right, so that is basically our view on Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and people are asking me to pull up Casta. Oh, look at the S&P 500. We are rising again. And you guys know I am expecting the S&P 500 to reverse and head towards all-time highs next year as well. I'm probably one of the only analysts that is expecting that. Is this? Yep. We'll do that after. Let me pull up Casta.
It should be.
It's okay. USDT.
No. It should be Bybit is the main one. Gates just they listed us without even asking, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean,
is it? I don't see it here. Is Bybit come? Does Bybit come through?
It has to be. If you go to Bybit, you will find it.
How do I go to? Oh,
I mean, go Bybit.
Like the website.
Yeah.
Can I just go to CoinMarketCap or something?
Yeah, you can go to CoinMarketCap, but I would go to Bybit because then you get the actual chart.
Okay.
You know what? Do Gate. Gate is fine. Gate is fine.
Let's see. Is the price going to be accurate? And is it going to go? I
think so.
Let's try it. If not, I'll go to Bybit.
Yeah. They listed us quite immediately, so it should be fine.
Okay, right. So this is
on the monthly. Though.
That's the month.
Yeah.
So this is the big concern that people have. We can put my TA to it as well. And you've been on CNBC multiple times. I've seen those episodes.
Fox Business.
Yeah, the Fox Business. So you've been on many of those, and a lot of people had high hopes for Casta. So just explain what happened.
Well, first of all, the actual app itself is a big success, which is something that people have failed to mention. But the app is live, which is something that we're very proud of, because this is something that, of course, is our main product, is the app where you can buy and sell and send crypto instantly and for free. So it's a Kasta, Casta, that's the app. And of course, I mean, we all know we're in a huge bear market. And if you look at CoinMarketCap, all coins.
Yeah, the launch of this token was not at an ideal time.
Unfortunately, we launched at the very top of the bull market, and ideally, you don't want to launch at the top of the bull market. It's not the best, right? But we started this project 1.5 years before we launched, and obviously it would have been nice if we could have launched earlier, but we weren't ready. We wanted to wait until we were ready. So it's just bad timing, really. And if you look at the whole coin market cap, everything is down. And actually, Casta has held up very nicely against other tokens out there that launched at the same time. So comparably to other tokens at the same time, Casta is actually holding up very well, still above seed price, still above private round. So it's still above where investors got in, which is something that I also want to, tell, because it's also something that
the early investors, the
early investors and public investors, so our community on Bybit, for example.
So for the record, I had an opportunity to be one of the early investors in Casta pre-launch, and I turned it down. As you guys know, I do not invest in tokens, and I am. This is the definition of a Bitcoin maxi.
And also one thing, so some people think that just because it looks like this means that I'm selling my tokens, but it's not true. If you go to the blockchain, if you go to all the public records, you can see that I never sold a single Casta token. Actually, I'm buying. I've been buying for the past 3 months. Literally in the past 2 months, I put $500,000 on the open market on Bybit to buy Casta tokens. So I'm supporting the price, I'm supporting the community, and I'm very proud to be part of the Casta.
So explain one more time what Casta does, and then explain why it needs a token.
So essentially, it's a payment app. It's like PayPal. It can be like we have there's an app in Sweden called Swish. It's very inspired by Swish. So it's basically off-chain transactions where you can send crypto and fiat instantly and for free, with the vision that we want to make it easy for people to buy and sell and send crypto in small parts between each other. Basically, if you go to restaurants, if you go around and you want to pay for things in the shops, etc. So that's the main idea. And of course, it's also wealth management, staking. You can stake crypto, including Casta, to get a yield on that. So there are many different functions that will be in the app. I cannot say everything because some of these functions are yet to be announced, but it's going to be like a fully fledged app where people can manage their crypto, essentially.
Okay, and the main reason for the token.
So the main reason for the token is essentially, to make it very simple, it's very similar to the Binance coin. It's like the BNB. You have a token to incentivize people to do different things, to get better user experience, and lower fees, get better tiers within the app. We just launched now different tiers in the app. So people that already have the app, if you update the app, you will have different tiers now. So
yeah, so the Binance token has changed the game pretty much, and I have mentioned this on my channel. And
I was actually against the Binance token back in 2017, 18. I said it's a token that doesn't make sense because I was a bit for maximalist back then. I was really saying that I don't think it makes sense to have a token for Binance because you can just have Binance without a token. But I was just massively proven wrong, and the Binance coin is just it's just really surprising me how strong it is. It's number 3, I think.
Right. Well, I said the same thing about Ethereum when that was launching, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And a lot of people are saying how
I'm
wrong
happy to be proven wrong, and I admit I was wrong. Like Binance coin is a fantastic idea. People are using it, and it's working, right?
Oh yeah, no. I will completely agree. I mean, let me back that up. I also believe to this day that the Binance coin should have never existed. But yes, for Binance, this was a fantastic idea. Binance had $1 billion advantage on their competition. When Binance came out, their competition was exchanges that did not have a token. We're talking about Kraken, Bitstamp, Coinbase. And because of that token, they were able to outcompete their competition, including BitMEX, and then FTX came out. But guess what? FTX also has a token, because Binance changed the game, and because the regulators have not even gone after the Binance's token yet, they altered the game. If you do not have a token, how are you going to compete with Binance? How are you going to compete with FTX? And this is why Bybit eventually created a token, and like BitGet created a token. And this is why every single exchange that is now launching has to create a token, because otherwise they can't compete. I don't like this, guys. I hate this. But if the SEC loses the Ripple case, that's it. There will be if the SEC loses the case against Ripple and Ripple is not deemed a security, it is possible there will be no company in 5 years ever going public on the American stock exchanges or any stock exchanges. The model will be you build a token first, and then maybe a company will develop. I've said this multiple times. This is a potential future. I'm not happy about this future, but I'm realistic that the future of the world is every single company having a token, every single person having a token. I'm probably not going to have one, but I believe that's the future, especially if the United States collapses, like I expect it to collapse this decade. And then there will be no global regulator, and then there will be no regulation on any of this stuff. And therefore, every single project will be launched with a token. It's an unfortunate world. I don't agree with it. But I also understand that if you don't compete in that world, how are you ever gonna come up? This is what happened in 2008 with the real estate crash. One bank starts giving away horrible mortgages, but they're making a lot of money. So if other banks don't also give away horrible mortgages, they're gonna lose business. They're gonna potentially go out of business, or the banks that are giving the horrible mortgages will buy them. So everyone starts giving horrible mortgages until the whole system collapses.
But would you agree that the Binance coin now provably was a success?
It was, well, just like Ethereum, provably a success. Doesn't mean that it was success based on its price. Now, Binance did launch a viable company, and that company benefits from the high price of the token. However, if the token price is to go down, Binance is going to go down faster than others. This is the Celsius problem. Celsius was the best lender there because they had billions of dollars in capital. But those billions of dollars were in Celsius token. Once panic set in, people sold the Celsius token. Once the Celsius token goes to zero, suddenly the company is illiquid. The company is not able to pay all those developers, and all the great stuff that they've done suddenly has a big problem. So Binance may face the same issue. For example, if the regulators do come after Binance all of a sudden, and people panic, and the Binance token starts to get sold really quickly, their company could be in trouble because their big business sort of depends on the value of the token being high. In a traditional company, the value of the stock price depends on the business, not the other way around. But in the crypto companies, very often, you see, you have in the case of Casta, you have other significant revenue streams. Like, for example, Casta doesn't depend on the value of the token because you have other sources of making good money, and you can continue to pay for the app's development. But this is why you can still, which is why the Casta business can still be functioning even though the value of the token has fallen 98%. But now imagine your competitor whose only money to fund the development of the app was from the token itself. If the token goes down 99%, how is he going to pay for continued development of the app? They can't. And that's why 99% of these projects, once the token goes low enough, it dies.
Yeah, I can't say if that's true or not. But let's definitely get some questions in, I think. This is cringe, someone says. Who is most cringe, me or Tone? I think they will say, call from the moon.
99% Tone. Yes, I can see the chart, guys.
Dubai is the new Switzerland. This is true. I mean, it's the next financial hub, for sure. That's for sure. Let's do some questions. Grill me. Grill me.
Carl has to go to dinner.
It's fine. We can have time for at least 3 minutes of questions.
All right, guys. Carl is capable of answering tough questions. I mean, this is why I have Carl on. Like a lot of people are like I'm giving you guys a chance to ask Carl tough questions.
Exactly.
So what more can I do here?
Great conversation. Thank you. I don't see any tough questions.
I don't remember saying Casta is going bust. As long as Carl is able to, because Carl is able to continue funding the development of Casta. But this is how most projects in the altcoin space dies. Once the token goes down, they die because they can't afford to pay for development.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have another project.
Yeah, so medieval empires. So Ruslan is asking about medieval empires. It's a crypto game, blockchain game with an incredible rockstar team with people from the game world. But more importantly, one of the most famous people in the world, Engin Altan, is a co-founder. He has hundreds of millions of fans for his TV series that he played the main character called Ertugrul. It's a Turkish series, which is big in the Muslim world. So we're talking literally hundreds of millions of fans and 9 billion views on YouTube and also billions of views on other platforms. So he is a co-founder, and essentially I'm a part of building this game to make sure that we build a game based on this historical figure, Ertugrul. And yeah, right now we're getting incredible support for that, incredible PR, because not only do we have an interesting team, the co-founders, but also the team itself, the game designers and the game producers are all from like InnoGames, EA Games, EA what's his name, King, Zynga, and these people have up to 20 years of experience, and they literally quit their job to come to work for Medieval Empires because Engin Altan is part. So fans of him come immediately.
What kind of game is it? Like, what is the game?
It's a strategic game where you basically you have your land and you build your village. You build your own little empire. That's the idea. And you can team together, or you can go against each other.
It's like those games that where I get advertised on like Instagram, where it's like you get the battles, or is it like more of a 3D thing?
No, it's a top-down view. It's like Age of Empires. It's like these strategic games. I think many people played these when they were younger. I played these a lot when I was young. So it's a strategic game, and then you can essentially attack each other, and you can also actually tax people on your land. So you have your land, and then you make it attractive to be there. You build infrastructure, and then you can tax people, and you choose how much tax you want to tax people. And if you tax too high, people will go to someone else's land. If you tax very low, people will be incentivized to come join you. So it's going to be like a social experiment as well to see how that works. Yeah.
All right, guys. We got time for like one more question. What do we got?
I want a very tough question about Casta because I'm ready for that.
All right, Gilma. People are asking, how did you make it in crypto?
Okay, that's not a 1-minute answer, but I will make it very short and very quick. So basically, I was working in a grocery store when I was younger, just like 4 years ago actually. But 5 years ago, I decided to change my mindset. I started to visualize myself being successful. I visualized myself being free and being my own boss, and just becoming a better version of myself. So I started to look into ways to essentially find other sources of income than my salary in the grocery store. I found crypto. I learned about crypto. I became a complete nerd. I became actually a Bitcoin maximalist back then. And then I started to make YouTube videos. I started trading. I started investing. And long story short, I started investing in a very big scale. I invested in 400 crypto startups, which makes me the biggest angel investor in crypto, I think. And I'm also a co-founder of companies. I also am a very, very big liquidity provider in crypto. So I provide liquidity to decentralized and centralized exchanges. I'm also advising projects But yeah, that's like a very, very short version of the story. But I would say the mindset and the law of attraction, that's really the key to my success. I visualized, I wrote down my goals. I learned a lot about quantum physics and how everything is energy. And if you align your own internal energy, then the external material energy will align with that. So to everyone out there that want to change their life, I would say it's very important that you research the law of attraction, quantum physics, and the power of your own words and thoughts, because your thoughts and words control your reality. And if you do this correctly, if you align your energy, then you will see that everything comes to you very easily and effortlessly, and you will become the best version of yourself. And that's why I created my new YouTube channel called just Carl Runefeld, where I vlog about my life and my mindset, and just I try to inspire people. I want people to become as successful as they possibly can be.
All right, we do have some super chat questions.
Nice.
I haven't gotten those in a while. I don't know if this is to me or to you. What response would you provide to people questioning a Bitcoin maxi participating in the creation of an altcoin? Well, to me, they're no longer a Bitcoin maxi if they have participated in the creation of an altcoin. And look, there's very few Bitcoin maxis, and I think more are being lost than created. And I'm starting to come to the realization that the altcoins aren't like, they're not going to disappear. I think they will all trend away from Bitcoin over time, but that's where all the volatility is. So the way I even describe it today is that Bitcoin is like the internet itself, but you could not invest in the internet itself. You always had to pick and choose companies on top of the internet.
This is what I always say as well, by the way.
But now you have the opportunity to invest in the internet itself, or all of these altcoins, which is like the wild, wild west of the .coms.
It's funny.
And some of them made it. And right now you have Binance and Ethereum. And if you chose Binance and Ethereum, you did well up to today, because they're at like near all-time highs or close to it. And if you chose anything of the other 3,000, you didn't do well. But this is the wild, wild west you get. And if you don't want to deal with the wild, wild west, then you just stick to Bitcoin, which is what I do. I asked a poll question because everyone is everyone is talking about Casta, and I'm like, okay, guys, how many of my viewers invested in Casta? And 94% are saying no. I don't see where the other side of it is. So maybe it's like being blocked by that or something.
Well, if you made this poll about Bitcoin back in 2012,
can we let somebody in?
I
have
yeah, when it comes to altcoins versus Bitcoin, I will always say buy Bitcoin first. I never recommend people to buy anything else than Bitcoin first. Bitcoin is the most important thing to have in your portfolio by far. So that will never change, no matter what coin I hold more of or I endorse or whatever. Like Bitcoin is always my number one. That's never gonna change.
Guys, I'm not actually promoting anything. Do you guys remember when I used to interview people and I just used to ask tough questions? But
Tone, I'm not getting any tough questions. I think your community has to be a little bit harder on me, like this.
The only thing I promote is Bitcoin. You guys know that. Guys,
Crypto Commons invested. Shout out.
Oh yeah, Crypto Commons. I was hanging out with him over in we were in Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan. Yeah. So I was hanging out with Crypto Commons is here, by the way.
Yeah, he's
in Dubai as well.
Big supporter.
Yeah. So
but Tone, I thought your audience would be a little bit more like this, you know.
All right, I do it. Efe, you wanna? We got a new trader who will eventually start a YouTube channel. You know, I'm gonna hold it right here. Just say who you are and what you do. And I know you've watched all of my trading videos.
Yeah. Hey guys, very nice to be on a Tone video after all this time. I mean, I'm 15 years old, by the way. I started watching Tone when I was 13. And yeah, Tone is the best technical analyst I know. And yeah, I mean, I'm so glad to have his content and be learning from him consistently, man. So
effort to the moon.
and Carl is amazing as well. I mean, both of these guys are amazing, very generous guys, and yeah, I'm grateful to both of them.
Glad to have you in the office, bro.
Yeah, no. My audience is being brutal, guys. My audience has dropped 75%. And in the meantime, audience like Carl's MM Cryptos is up hundreds of percent. So clearly I'm doing something wrong, and other people are doing something right. And that's all I can tell you right now. Oh yeah. So a lot of people are upset over the clickbaity titles. Yeah, look, guys, at this rate, no one's going to be watching my channel going forward. So when I'm in Dubai, I hang out with people, and we want to ask tough questions. We can do it right here on this channel.
We're not getting any tough questions, Tom. Maybe I just addressed everything already, then they don't have any more tough questions. Carl, keep grinding. Thank you, bro.
Is Cardano next Ethereum? All right, guys, give us one more tough question for Carl. Otherwise, we're gonna let him go.
But we're not getting any tough questions. Tom, you have to grill your audience. Like you have to spar them like this, you know. I was expecting at least some tough questions. Carl, what is your biggest challenge in building Casta token? It's not a tough question, but it's a nice question. Should I?
Oh, yeah, you answer it real quick. Well,
I would say right now, one of the challenges we have are reaching the whole world globally, because regulation is something that just takes time. So ideally, we want to be available in all countries immediately. But that is something that we unfortunately have realized that it's going to take some time. But we're starting with Europe. So the app is live, and people can download it and use it. And we have had insane feedback. People love the app. And we have thousands of users already, with very, very low marketing, by the way, because the team has told me that, Carl, you cannot do too much marketing now because we want to make sure that the app rolls out steadily, because we have 300,000 people in the email waitlist. And if we just open that up to everyone, it's just not, it's going to be chaos. So that's why we're slowly rolling it out now. And so far, the feedback has been amazing. And it looks like in the next few weeks now, the app is ready for me to start going back into the heavy marketing.
Last question.
Yeah.
Approximately how many Casta users are there? And is the token absolutely necessary to use Casta, or you can use it without the token?
You can use Casta without the token. That's for sure. The other question was how many users we have exactly right now?
Approximate.
Last time I checked, it was 3,000 KYC users. This is from our waitlist, just inviting like the first few people. We haven't begun to invite the whole full 300,000 people yet, because of the fact that we want to have a slow, steady rollout to not have any
and it is
issues.
a KYC product.
Yeah.
Okay. And the regulations
fully regulated.
You're following the regulation of the UAE or Europe?
Well, it will depend on the country, but I cannot go into exactly all the specifics. It depends on the country itself.
Of the person registering for the app.
Right now, we're not available in UAE, for example.
Okay, so you're not available in the UAE. So it's dependent on the passport of the person signing up.
For right now, that's the case.
Okay, yeah. And like which regions are you onboarding? Not US, I'm assuming. Europe.
Well, we want to do US at some point, but right now we're focusing on Europe.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna leave it here, and we can talk about this episode on my next stream. And I'm happy to answer your questions. You can ask me the tough questions. Apparently, I'm being crucified now for having Carl on the show. So
that's a good question, by the way.
Which one?
So someone is asking, why should we use Casta and not Lightning? And that's actually a great question, because the initial idea of Casta was to use Lightning Network. And we have as a vision to include Lightning Network as soon as it's ready. But right now, our developers said that it's just not ready for the mass adoption yet. And I think you know this as well, right? Like Lightning Network is simply not developed properly yet. However, as soon as it is, we want to integrate Lightning Network because I think it's very important. I think as much decentralization as possible is very important.
Right.
And it's built on Polygon.
But you're also doing like traditional fiat conversion into Bitcoin, right? So so the question is, why isn't it Lightning? They're different. Like Lightning is for Bitcoiners to just be on the Bitcoin standard. There are on-ramps and off-ramps. So the real question should be, why Casta and not something like Swan? Not why Casta and not something like Lightning. So it's just a wrong comparison.
Yeah.
For whoever asked the question.
Yeah, and someone asked which blockchain, and we're building it on Polygon.
Guys, you know I don't hold anything other than S&P 500 and Bitcoin in my retirement fund. So because
I respect you for this, by the way, because I think that's very hard when the bull market is raging, when everything is going crazy and everyone is making millions and millions. I know how tough it is not to FOMO in. So I respect you for not FOMOing into Shiba this and Katana Inu this. Very good.
My life's exciting enough without the 1000x swings. But I will say that we have so many Bitcoin miners right now whose stocks of their companies have fallen from $15 down to under $1. And I think those Bitcoin mining companies could equal many of the returns of a lot of these altcoins when the bull market comes.
Yeah, I want to say one thing. Tone, he told me before the stream, like, look, Carl, maybe my community will be a little bit hard to you because you're a shitcoiner, blah, 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 blah. But actually, guys, I've seen nothing but actually very nice comments. So I'm very, very happy that you guys are super nice and that you had a couple of tough questions. But I think we addressed them. So I'm very happy to be here.
But we also can't win, right? Like people are like, well, Tone, why didn't you didn't sell Bitcoin when it was at the top? And it's like, well, no, I'm a Bitcoin believer, I'm a holder. Because if I would have sold all my Bitcoin at the top, I would have been accused of not being a Bitcoiner and given up on it, right? So like you can't win. It's like that meme of a donkey, right? Like no matter what you do, you're gonna have a million haters.
I know, but this is crypto, by the way. This is crypto. In crypto, everyone is always going to hate on someone. Just like even CZ had so many haters back in the days. People called him a scammer. He was a scammer, blah, blah, blah. Now, no one does that anymore. So when you're successful, people stop hating. But in the bear markets, it's always like that. And people will always find ways to find wrongs. People love when you're wrong. That's how life is. But it seems like your audience is very, very nice and respectful. So I don't think they are that kind of people. But over on Twitter, I have seen a lot of people that really look for people to just have wrong all the time, and people love to see people have a bad time.
All right, we gotta let Carl go. He's got dinner. And I am gonna end the stream here, guys, and I will be answering your tough questions as to Carl comes on my show about once a year. So you'll all survive this. It's okay. We can have a little counseling session on my next stream, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Let's one day you come to my office and we make a video on my channel as well. We can make like double collaboration. It's nice.
Perfect. All right, guys. Talk to you all